Good afternoon, class. So today is 12th of March, and we will have to cover the current affairs of today. The first news is related to the Prime Minister being attending the Quad Summit through online media or digital media, and there have been three agendas in which they have basically are going to be talking about, as we already know, because certain talks with respect to the agendas are always listed before. And the first agenda is with respect to the COVID vaccine, how to make it more affordable, fix the supply chain. The second one is with respect to the core technical changes or the evolution or the technologies that are going to come. And the third one is the climate change. So you can talk about the three C's. That is the agenda of the Quad. This is the first virtual meeting of this particular body, as it had not happened till date. They have been working about for a changing and the revamp of the global order with trust, cooperation, and also the trade routes that are needed to be secured in the Indo-Pacific region. When I say Indo-Pacific region, please understand I literally mean the Indian Ocean region and the Pacific Ocean region. So all the countries that are located around it, they are included in that. Now, what will be the framework, whether there will be a written thing or unwritten thing, that is still not clear. That we will know after the summit. Although there will be in-person meetings of the four major countries who are involved in the Quad, and most of the time this particular organization has been seen by the people as an anti-China initiative, and the initial objectives was also the same. But India have been working on a alternative way of engaging the world leaders and creating a different center of power in the South Asian region. So these are some of the things that we are looking forward to this, and sorry, looking forward in this, and what will happen in this. We will also have to see what will be the outcome in the upcoming days with respect to the cooperation and the engagement between the Quad nations. Please remember the four Quad nations. See here they are located: Japan, Australia, USA, and India. I think two of you already know, but I think the one confusion regarding Japan is, see this particular information that whether Japan is located just about the north, above the North Sea, or is it is located in the north direction of the Yellow Sea, or it is located in the Pacific Ocean. This is the thing that you have to see yourself on that list. Okay, because there is very important island over there called as Senkaku Island. That is a dispute between Japan and China, so you should remember it. The next one is working toward climate change in a non-ideal world. Now this is written by Manjeev Singh Puri, and he was the former ambassador to the United Nations Framework on Climate Change. I was hoping more of a detailed discussion by Manjeev Singh Puri into the issues that are surrounding the climate change, but he have only given an overview with respect to what the Joe Biden will be doing, what they will be calculating, and what are the changes that they are going to get affected, and what are the things they want to do. Now, in that particular part, he have suggested only two things. First of all, he says that US is on the board, and certainly sooner or later, the US is going to make serious altercations and changing and modification with respect to the plan in the containing of the greenhouse gases that are affecting adversely the climate by bringing in the expertise and also the funds. Apart from that, there are a lot of mechanism, because the issues that the earlier issue was the common but differentiated policies or differentiated responsibility that was recognized under the Paris climate change. So different countries have produced or polluted the environment, and the carbon that is released in the environment is a different kind of historical phenomena that have happened, because the countries who are in the region of Africa has always complained about the regions that are situated in Europe and United States of America, that they have made industrial process earlier, yeah, or industrial progress earlier, therefore are the major contributors to the greenhouse gases that are currently in the atmosphere. Now the more responsibility should be above them to contain the different kind of pollutants or the greenhouses they are producing right now or have produced in the historical timeline of the Earth's surface, or you can say in the last 100 years. So in regarding this, Manjeev Singh Puri says that a lot of countries will not be agreeing to this because there will be a lot of unnecessary burden in the time of the COVID, as we are already seeing that the countries at the domestic front are dealing with the COVID situation, the economies are going down. So this can't be a possibility. Now, an alternative has been provided by Mr. Raghuram Rajan, And the alternative that Mr. Raghuram Rajan has provided is all those countries that are existing in the world phenomena, and there is a money that is needed to be shed away from the coffers of these particular countries. But the problem is with respect to the per capita average that is there. So what Mr. Raghuram Rajan have said, he have said that right now there is not a possibility in the time of the COVID that a lot of countries or even the 12 countries will be making the contribution to the funding. So you will have to look for alternative channels. And one alternative channel that he have suggested is that if there is a per capita average of an individual country over 5 ton, then that country needed to be paying something to the people or paying something to the fund that could be used for the green energy resources. In the case of India, it is also helpful because in India, the per capita average of the greenhouse gases is at about 2 tons. So that is pretty lesser amount as compared to the 5 tons. And some of the European nations have the per capita emissions of the greenhouse gases at about 14 tons and 15 tons within a particular year. And probably we have also seen various reports in which the top 1% of the people around the world currently contributes to about 13.5% of the total greenhouse gases. And if we take the 10% of the world, the richest person of the world, they contribute about 53% of the greenhouse gases of the world. Now, if you control them, definitely the world would be a better place. But if they do not start moving from one place to another, because the richest person are basically using all the activities that require the maximum amount of pressure on the resources of the earth. So you see the biggest of the planes are owned by the rich, the biggest of the buildings are owned by the rich. The poor people neither own that much amount of money, but they are also not polluting the environment in the way as the rich people. Okay, so that is the one suggestion that they have said. And furthermore, there is a proposal on the current and the future emissions that is needed to be taken up into consideration. There should be double penalties if you are not keeping for the forward plan and not keeping with the current plan. So if you are not processing on the forward plan, that there could be checking of this particular issue that whether you are going to control in the future. So that the countries who are working, they are also trusting the fact that the other countries are also working on the same path. So for example, let's say India is a less per capita emission country. Now, over the times, sooner or later, India also have to basically come to the green energy or the green fuel. We have shown excess commitment in that. Now, there are certain countries who say that we do not have any responsibility, such as China. Now, China should also provide a forward plan, and then there should be a current plan. When I say forward plan, I mean that whether the Chinese companies are working on the future prospects for the renewable energy and would stop exploiting the excess resources of the earth or generating excess amount of greenhouse gas emission that may damage the environment. So you can use that both. You can put the penalty if the forward plan is not there. You can put the penalties if the current plan is not executed. So in that sense, both the countries will have trust over each other that even if they do not work, they will also get penalized. Maybe the penalty will be small, but they will also get penalized. So these are some of the things that they have said. Okay, say free passes should not be provided. This is what Manjeev Singh Puri have said. He says that everybody should be made accountable. If you provide free passes, definitely they are going to be exploited either by the developed countries or either by the developing countries. So climate change is a type of a humanity effort that is also going to bring benefits to all of the humanity and not just to one country. Maybe some countries are on the verge of suffering more as from the climate change as from some of the nations, but the effect all over, because we do not know in which way the environment will try to balance itself or try to rationalize itself, what kind of species will be getting extinguished. So we will have to have a comprehensive policy so that everything is basically calculated or revived, penalized, planned or implemented for the future of not only humans but also to the whole of the animal and the plant life species. So I hope this is clear. The next news is related to India-Japan Space Agency's review ties. So now we are engaging with the Japanese Space Agency called as JAXA, and there is a program that is currently going over there. We have already talked about that there is a lunar pole exploration working project that we are going to be conducting with the country of Japan, and that will be launched in 2024, in which on the southern pole of the moon we will launch a Mangalyaan, and the help has been taken from LUPEX. Okay, so LUPEX plan stand for Lunar Polar Exploration. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Next one is the self-reliant India is good for the world. So now there is a Kindle version that is available of Bhagavad Gita online. Now this has been launched in the backdrop that there are a lot of things that are currently wrong in the world, and Bhagavad Gita is one book that can give the light in the time of the darkness that it have provided to Arjuna in the battlefield when he was suffered from darkness in the final battle in Mahabharata, and Krishna was the guiding light. So in the same way, they are saying that this is very well could turn out to be a better uh, experience for the whole world, and everything that with regard to Bhagavad Gita, when it will be made available online, it will be helpful to all the people from all around the world. So this is what the Bhagavad Gita is talking about. The next news is related to the China's parliament approved 5-year plan. So I think everything we talked about the 5-year plan of the China has already been discussed. I am not going into go that, and I hope you read this on your own. There are only two important issues. What are the 8 or 6 or 7 core objectives that they have listed for themselves? They are important. Apart from that, what is the 2035 vision? So they are also talking about self-reliance in the critical technologies field. They are talking about the infrastructure, the border infrastructure, the modernization of the army. Then they have talked about decreasing or declining or making China as a major country to provide all time of supply chain connections to the world. So these are some of the issues that you should understand here. And then there is a renewable energy push, which actually have caused a concern in India, because the dams that the China is going to build now will be built in the lower basin of the Yarlung Tsangpo. So this Yarlung Tsangpo is by the name called in the state of India by Brahmaputra. And we have already discussed that the flow of the Brahmaputra will not be restricted, because 33% of the catchment area of Brahmaputra river is lying in India itself. So you need not to bother about that. But then again, there are a lot of things and issues that are needed to be looked after, that how the China is planning to implement these policies and what are their objectives, both with respect to the long term and both with respect to the short term. The next one is the China overhauls Hong Kong port system. So the objective of the Beijing is to basically provide people who are loyal to the central government situated in the Beijing, and there are no two country one system that will be allowed in that part of the region. This is what they have said. Now in that particular part, what they want to do, they were 50-50 percentage of the total members who were in the Hong Kong legislative council over there. So 50% represented the people who were from Beijing, and 50% represented the people who were from the Special Administrative Region Hong Kong. So SAR HSKR. So Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, that is the definition of it. So there are 50% of the elected from the people of Hong Kong. They have protested that the China is basically agreeing or acting in such a manner that it is choking the local voices of the dissent. We have already known what is the issues with respect to the 1997 transfer of the Hong Kong or the territory of Hong Kong from the Britain to the territory of China, and what are the implementations both in the case of autonomy with respect to business, the democratic freedoms, and the issues with respect to the political regulations or the administration that it needed to be followed. Now Britain have accused recently a lot of people over there or the Chinese authorities that they are basically violating to the terms of the agreement, as it was in the case of the Britain. But Britain could not do anything right now because they are a weak nation and completely dependent on safety of its own on across the Atlantic, that is the United States of America. So that is how they are currently functioning, and so I think that is it. Oh, sorry, last one is the US curbs could hit Quad vaccine claims. So US backed Quad alliance seems to invest in India pharmaceutical capacity. So what they will do, they will invest in Indian pharma, and Indian pharma have taken a whole objective of basically producing 1 billion vaccines by next year. So that will be our capacity from the next year. Now the Indian government says that we are not only preparing for this type of pandemic, but we are also preparing for the another pandemic that could happen in the near future, because as we have already seen through the various surveys that earlier the occurrence of the pandemic was basically about 100 years or more than 100 years. But as the climate change is happening and the anthropological activities has various type of alteration in the environment, the pandemic may not take 100 years to again repeat. It may be in the next 20 years and the 25 years that the pandemic may resurface again in different form and could damage or take a toll on the human health and also the casualty that it may lead to. And so for that particular time we need to prepare, and in that particular part USA have partnered India with India, so they will be producing their vaccines in India. India will also be producing generic vaccines that will be supplied to the nation. And I hope you remember we have started a vaccine Matri program under which we are delivering vaccine to the poorer countries of the world. And we have also requested the World Trade Organization and the US and the other developed countries who are there to not go for the vaccine nationalism and not talk about the IPR regulations that is the intellectual property right regulations with respect to the restriction of the vaccine. Okay, so I hope you understand IPR is something that you produce intellectually. So if you do a particular discovery and you made a patent of it, or you have an intellectual property, because intellectual property is a type of a research. So you have developed a particular vaccine, this intellectual property needed to be safeguarded. So the world community have in tandem with respect to the registration. Indians are not very well aware of the fact. So slowly or steadily, we are basically educating everyone that how the intellectual property rights needed to be followed in India. And in certain cases, we have also used or give sanctions for the uses of the IPR for the benefit of the public. India wants that this particular provision or the vaccine distribution program should be given exemption from the World Trade Organization, and India should be allowed to basically export every kind of vaccine to every country around the world. So how successful they would be, we do not know, but this is what currently is happening now. So that is it for today.